A 73-year-old man was found lifeless in his bed, not because of a heart attack, not because of a stroke, but from something far more unexpected. A morning habit. One that many older men see as harmless, even healthy. But done the wrong way at the wrong time, it can silently chip away at your heart, your energy, and even your emotional well-being. I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to tell you the truth. Because no one else will. Morning self-pleasure is natural. It's part of being human. But if you're over 60, the way you approach it can mean the difference between feeling strong or slowly breaking down without even knowing it. In this episode, I'll walk you through 7 hidden mistakes older men make during morning self-pleasure, starting with the one mistake almost every man makes the moment he opens his eyes. And yes, it could be putting serious pressure on your heart. But hold on, before we begin, hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications if you care about your health. Because here, we reveal the truths no one else talks about. Now, I want to know you're with me. If you're listening, and this matters to you, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0. Your voice matters more than you know. Now, are you ready? Mistake 1. Masturbating immediately after waking up. For many men, especially those over 60, the urge to start the morning with self-pleasure can feel automatic. You wake up with an erection, your testosterone is slightly elevated, and it just feels like the right time. But here's the truth. Most never hear acting on that urge too quickly can quietly put your heart and nervous system under serious strain. When you sleep, your body enters a state of rest and repair. Your blood pressure drops. Your heart rate slows. Your entire system shifts into a calm, low-energy mode. And when you open your eyes, your body doesn't just snap back to full alertness. It needs time, a gentle transition, to stabilize, to wake up fully. But if you go straight into intense stimulation, right after opening your eyes, before stretching, before hydrating, before moving, you're forcing your heart to go from 0 to 60 in seconds. This sudden spike in heart rate and blood pressure can be dangerous for aging hearts. Some men report feeling dizzy. Some feel pressure in their chest. And in rare but very real cases, this shock to the system has led to serious cardiac events. And it doesn't stop there. Your brain is also involved. When you stimulate yourself too quickly in the morning, your dopamine levels surge and then crash. What should have been an energizing, feel-good experience becomes the reason you feel sluggish, emotionally drained, or strangely flat by noon. You might even start your day feeling worse than you did before. And here's the important thing. This isn't about shame. It's about timing. At 30, your body could handle these abrupt shifts. But after 60, you need to give yourself time to warm up. Think of your body like an engine. You wouldn't floor the gas the moment you started on a cold winter morning. So why would you do that to your heart? The fix is simple. Give yourself 20 to 30 minutes after waking up. Sit up slowly, drink a glass of water. Stretch. Let your blood pressure settle. Then, if you still feel the urge, your body will be far better prepared to handle it safely. And over time, this small change can make a big difference. You'll feel more grounded, more energized, and more in control of your health. Because that's what this is really about, protecting the parts of you that matter most, even in the quiet, private moments. Now, are you ready for what happens when the brain gets overstimulated first thing in the morning? Mistake 2, using porn. That overstimulates the brain. For many men, especially in the privacy of morning hours, turning on a screen has become the go-to trigger for arousal. A few taps, a few clicks, suddenly you're watching fast, high-stimulation, digitally enhanced content that's designed to grab your attention and flood your brain with pleasure. But here's what no one tells you. Your brain, especially after 60, was never built for that level of artificial intensity. When you watch extreme or fast-paced porn, your brain is hit with a surge of dopamine, the chemical that fuels desire, motivation, and pleasure. At first, it feels exciting. You may even feel more alive. But that's the trick. Because over time, your brain begins to adapt. The more stimulation it receives, the more it needs just to feel the same level of excitement. And slowly, quietly, it begins to numb out. What once aroused you no longer does. You start chasing more intense content, but the cost is high. For older men, this pattern leads to something far more serious than just decreased interest. It weakens your ability to connect, to feel pleasure with a real partner, in a real moment, with real emotion. You become distant from your own body, disconnected from your feelings, and slowly intimacy becomes harder, not easier. Some men describe feeling foggy or emotionally flat by midday. Others feel irritable or strangely sad without knowing why. And most of them don't realize it all started with what they watched that morning. This isn't just about sex. It's about your brain's health, your emotional well-being, your sense of connection and joy. And as you age, your brain becomes less resilient. It takes longer to bounce back from overstimulation. You simply can't afford to flood it with artificial highs that leave you feeling low for the rest of the day. The solution: step away from the screen. Use memory, use imagination, use touch and breath and awareness. Return to the human side of pleasure where intimacy isn't manufactured, but felt. Because your brain deserves more than pixels and noise. It deserves presence, and so do you. Now, if overstimulating your brain is this dangerous, what happens when you add physical strain on top of it? Mistake 3. Masturbating while holding your breath or straining. This one is so common that most men don't even realize they're doing it. In fact, you might be doing it right now without knowing how risky it really is. It's the habit of tensing your body, clenching your muscles, holding your breath, or pushing too hard during climax. It may feel instinctive, part of the moment. But for men over 60, this unconscious habit can be dangerous. And in some cases, it can even be deadly. When you strain during sexual release, you're triggering what's known as the Valsalva maneuver. That's a fancy way of saying your body is tightening up and forcing internal pressure. Your chest contracts, your blood vessels squeeze, and for a few seconds your brain gets less oxygen than it needs. It's the same thing people do when they lift something heavy or bear down too hard. But doing this during sexual activity, especially in the morning when blood pressure is already elevated, puts extra stress on your heart and brain. I've seen cases where this led to fainting, small strokes, even heart rhythm problems. All because of that one habit most men never think twice about. Even if it doesn't trigger an immediate emergency, the long-term effects can quietly build up. Over time, repeated straining can damage blood vessels, compress nerves, and weaken the pelvic floor muscles that support your bladder and sexual function. Men often come to my office complaining about numbness, tingling, or a loss of sensitivity. They think it's just aging, but in many cases the root cause is this subtle tension, this hidden pressure that's been repeated day after day for years. So what should you do instead? Let go of the struggle. Breathe. During climax, your breath should be steady and free, not forced or blocked. Your body should be releasing, not fighting itself. This small shift in awareness can protect your nervous system, preserve your sensitivity, and keep your heart safer. Because climax isn't supposed to feel like a battle. It's meant to be a release, a letting go. And as you grow older, protecting that gentle balance becomes more important than ever. Now, even if you breathe correctly and relax into the experience, there's another mistake that's often ignored. One that has less to do with how you touch your body and more to do with what you forget to do before and after. Mistake 4. Not urinating before or after masturbation. It sounds harmless, too small to matter. But for older men, skipping a simple trip to the bathroom either before or after self-pleasure can lead to serious, even painful consequences. Let's start with before. When you wake up in the morning, your bladder has been holding urine all night. That urine is concentrated, it's warm, and it's sitting right next to your prostate and urethra. Now imagine stimulating your body in that state, building pressure, increasing flow, but not releasing what's already there. For men with even a slightly enlarged prostate, which is incredibly common after 60, this creates a perfect storm. Incomplete bladder emptying, irritation of the urethra, and in some cases, a painful backup of fluids that your body struggles to release. Now let's talk about after, because failing to urinate after climax leaves residual semen and bacteria sitting in the urinary tract. And that's exactly where problems start. I've treated countless men who suffer from burning sensations, pressure in the lower abdomen, or recurring urinary tract infections. They're often confused, frustrated, sometimes even embarrassed. And yet the cause is often something this simple, not urinating before and after their sexual routine. For men with sensitive prostates, this mistake can trigger prostatitis, an inflammation that brings pain, discomfort, and in some cases, long-term disruption of bladder and sexual function. But here's the good news. The fix couldn't be easier. Urinating before helps flush out any old or concentrated urine. It reduces pressure. It clears the path. Urinating afterward helps wash out leftover semen bacteria and irritants before they can settle in and cause problems. This small habit takes less than a minute, but it can protect you from days or even weeks of discomfort. It's not just about hygiene, it's about protecting your prostate, supporting your urinary health, and respecting the natural systems that keep your body balanced. Don't let embarrassment or habit stop you from doing what's smart. And don't assume small things don't matter. Because when it comes to aging well, it's the little choices done consistently that make the biggest difference. Now, even if you manage your timing, your breathing, and your hygiene, there's still one more mistake many men make. And this one affects the way you actually touch your body without realizing the damage it may be causing. Mistake 5. Using too much pressure or aggressive hand techniques. This mistake is one of the most physically damaging, yet it's also one of the most overlooked. Many older men, without even realizing it, use excessive pressure or rough hand movements during self-pleasure. Why? Because as sensitivity decreases with age, some try to compensate by gripping tighter, moving faster, applying more force. It may feel necessary in the moment, but over time, it can cause real harm to some of the most delicate parts of your body. As we grow older, the skin of the penis becomes thinner, the blood vessels become more fragile, and the nerves more vulnerable. Using too much force can cause tiny tears, bruising, or inflammation. At first, you may not notice anything, but little by little the damage adds up. Some men develop nerve compression. Others begin to feel less sensation, needing more stimulation just to feel the same response. And in more advanced cases, scar tissue forms inside the shaft, leading to a condition known as Peyronie's disease, where the penis becomes curved, painful, and difficult to manage during intimacy. I've had patients come to me worried they've lost sensation or they're struggling to climax. And often the issue isn't hormonal or psychological, it's mechanical. Years of unconscious roughness damaging the very structures responsible for pleasure. Here's what most men don't know. Your body doesn't show signs of this kind of trauma right away. It accumulates. And once the nerves are damaged, recovery is slow and sometimes incomplete. So what can you do? First, slow down. Use a lighter touch, incorporate lubrication to reduce friction, and shift your mindset from performance to presence. Pleasure isn't about force. It's about connection to your body, your breath, and the sensations that arise when you treat yourself with care. Being gentle isn't weak, it's wise, especially if you want to protect your sensitivity and function for the years ahead. Now, even if your technique is careful and your body is calm, there's another mistake that sneaks in, one that has nothing to do with your hands and everything to do with your emotional state. Mistake 6, masturbating. When you're emotionally low or anxious, this is one of the most silent and most misunderstood mistakes. Because it doesn't just affect your body, it impacts your emotional balance, your mental clarity, and your overall sense of well-being. Masturbating when you're feeling low, lonely, anxious, or stressed may seem like a quick fix, a way to feel better, to escape, to distract yourself from what's going on inside. But for older men, especially those navigating deeper emotional shifts after 60, this habit can quietly pull you into a damaging cycle. Your emotional state plays a powerful role in how your body processes pleasure. When you seek release from a place of sadness or tension, not connection or calm, you confuse the body's reward system. You get a spike of dopamine, a fleeting moment of relief, and then a crash, one that often leaves you feeling more empty than before. Many men describe it as a heaviness after climax, a fog, a feeling of guilt they can't quite explain. And over time, this pattern wires your brain to associate pleasure with isolation, intimacy with avoidance. It becomes harder to connect with others, and even harder to find joy in simple things. At this stage in life, emotional resilience becomes deeply connected to hormonal health, energy, and your sense of purpose. If you keep using self-pleasure to run from your feelings, you're not just numbing pain, you're weakening the emotional systems that support your motivation, creativity, and strength. And the damage is subtle. You might think you're just having an off day. But the truth is, you're draining your reserves without realizing it. So what's the better way? Before you engage in any form of self-touch, check in with your heart. Are you grounded? Are you present? Are you doing this from a place of gratitude? Or are you just trying to fill a void? If the answer feels off, pause. Go for a walk. Breathe. Reach out to someone. Let the emotion move through you before you move into yourself. Pleasure is powerful, but only when it's rooted in emotional clarity. Now, even if you're emotionally present, physically gentle, and fully aware, there's still one last mistake that often gets ignored. It's not about how you touch or feel. It's about what your body has been trying to tell you and what happens when you don't listen. Mistake 7. Ignoring what your body is trying to tell you. This may be the most dangerous mistake of all, not because of what you do, but because of what you choose to ignore. Your body speaks to you, and over time it gets quieter when you stop listening. A little numbness here, a delayed orgasm there, a slight burning when you urinate, a dull ache in the groin or pressure that wasn't there last week. These aren't just signs of getting older. They're messages, signals from your nervous system, your circulatory system, your prostate, and your bladder all trying to let you know that something's off. But far too many men brush them aside. They write them off as part of aging. And they wait. They wait until it becomes pain, until it's dysfunction, until it's a diagnosis that could have been prevented months or even years earlier. I've worked with men who lost sensation permanently, who battled ongoing urinary problems, who lived with chronic pelvic pain because they didn't act on the first small warning signs. It didn't have to be that way. All it would have taken was awareness, a quick visit, a test, a scan, a conversation. Because when you pay attention early, you give yourself the power to prevent, to adjust, to heal. Your body doesn't shout, it whispers. And the older you get, the more important it becomes to tune in. If something feels off even slightly, don't dismiss it. Your instincts got you this far in life. Trust them. Don't let pride or embarrassment keep you from protecting the years you still have ahead. There is no shame in listening, only strength. And if you've made it through these 7 mistakes, you've already taken a powerful step forward. Now let's bring it all together in a way that gives you energy, clarity, and control. If you've made it this far, I want to thank you, not just for listening, but for caring enough to face a topic that most men never talk about. The truth is, masturbation isn't the problem. It's natural. It's human. And when done with awareness, it can actually support your vitality and emotional health. But the 7 mistakes we just uncovered, they are quiet, consistent threats, not dramatic, not loud, but powerful enough to slowly break down your heart, your nerves, your pleasure, and even your confidence, one habit at a time. This conversation isn't about guilt, it's about clarity. It's about knowing better so you can choose better. Because you deserve more than just surviving these years, you deserve to thrive in them. Now, if something in this message resonated with you, if even one mistake hit a little too close to home, then take action. Not someday. Today. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you're taking away from this. And if you feel moved, type 1 to say, I'm choosing to take care of myself. Because your voice could help another man find the courage to do the same. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Because on this channel, we don't just talk about aging, we talk about living with strength, with clarity, and with dignity. Your next chapter is waiting. Let's make it your strongest one yet.